Hey everybody, welcome back to Class on Your Own. Today we're talking about the end of the Cold War. We really spent this week talking about mostly the 20th century and the international relations events that are crucial to sort of that. We've also been doing that by, again, just to remind you, trying to look through the lens of some of the theories we're going to be talking about, realism and liberalism in particular. And that's what we're going to do again today. The Cold War, which you guys have read about, we spent a lot of time on Wednesday. It comes to an end in 1989, I think it is. It just basically just kind of fizzles out. And everybody thought it was going to come, and the only way the Cold War could possibly end is in some sort of war, and that war would almost certainly involve nuclear weapons. So here we sit today in a world in which we don't have nuclear fallout everywhere because there wasn't a nuclear war. And honestly, this is one of those things that at least ever since that moment, political scientists, international relations people, foreign policy people, they sit down and go, what happened? Didn't see it coming, don't really know how to explain it very well. So we're going to talk about some explanations today, the ones that sort of have evolved from this. Again, we're going to look at the realist and the liberal explanations. Before we do, we just got to talk about nuclear weapons again. So let's do that very quickly here. This is the nuclear arsenal in the world. This is adding everybody up together. This isn't just America or just the Soviet Union. This is everybody, America, Soviet Union, France, whoever has nuclear weapons. And you can see after World War II, right here, is very, very few. In the 50s, there's a pretty huge pickup right there. And then in the 60s, we have this sort of bulge. There was this thing we talked about before called détente, and essentially, I don't know why my pen is red. I guess it's right. That's the right color. I'm in a weird room right now, so the lighting is off. Ignore me. The point is, détente happens, and there's a little bit of a slide down, but then things get a little dicey again. They head on up to the point where by 1986, again, the heart of the Reagan presidency, we've sort of reached what they would have known at the time, but it's sort of the peak of what it is. Now, the other thing I want to add to this is not only sort of demonstrating that more and more and more nuclear weapons are in existence, but also the power of each nuclear weapon is also growing exponentially. So here is the size of the nuclear weapon that happened in Hiroshima. By 2015, again, we've fast forwarded just a little bit there, but these are the sizes of I guess you could say, the explosive power of each nuclear weapon. And we can also go back to this one here and say, something happens in here at some point, I can't remember if it was in the late 60s, early 70s, where essentially instead of each bomb or each missile having one bomb, they put several bombs in the tip of each one. And so each weapon had several nuclear warheads, and each nuclear warhead was much more explosive than this. The point of this to say is that even by here, we had the ability to blow up the world a couple times. By here, the potential, if all the nuclear weapons were sort of released, nothing left. Not just blown up once, but blown up several hundred times. We could blow up the Earth. That's messy. You can understand why this is problematic, why people are getting nervous about this. So let's explain how we sort of move from that to, at some point in the early 90s, it's just kind of over. And I guess you could say the United States and capitalism and democracy has won. So take a look at this video. This is going to be the first one. We're going to talk about realist explanations. In this first video you're going to watch, again, only like the first 5 minutes. It's a propaganda video that's created by an NGO that's really pushing for this. I think it was really backed also by some business interests that were involved in this initiative. So watch that first 5 minutes and then come back and we'll talk about the realist explanation.